What do you think makes Married with Children the longest-running sitcom in Hollywood history and loved by many audiences? The show's humor and uniqueness cannot be denied, but one factor that makes this series always sought after is that flaws on the set are constantly discovered. The amusing misadventures and stunts that sometimes don't go as planned keep fans hooked on it at random. This is strange, isn't it? You don't need to go anywhere to find those attractive holes. This video will tell you everything. Let's get started. A tragic masterpiece. Married with Children. Married with Children stands out as a significant milestone in television history for several key reasons. Firstly, it holds the distinction of being the first live-action success for Fox Network, a feat that cemented its place in TV lore. When Fox was still in its nascent stages, Married with Children was not just another show. It was the inaugural series that the network chose to showcase in its primetime slot. This decision would set the tone for the kind of content Fox aimed to deliver. Moreover, the show's longevity is unmatched in the realm of Fox live-action sitcoms. To this day, no other live-action sitcom on Fox has surpassed the duration of Married with Children's run. This longevity is a testament to its enduring appeal and the strong connection it forged with its audience. Beyond its network achievements, Married with Children was a cultural tour de force. It was groundbreaking in its approach to humor, pushing the envelope of what was deemed acceptable on television at the time. The show became renowned for its distinct brand of comedy that heavily relied on lowbrow, crass, and often blatantly non-politically correct humor. This unorthodox and daring approach to sitcom humor not only differentiated it from its contemporaries, but also helped it appeal to a broad spectrum of viewers. The journey of Married with Children is a fascinating study of how controversy can sometimes fuel a show's success. The show's popularity, which sustained it for an impressive 11 seasons and 259 episodes, was paradoxically bolstered by the very controversies that threatened its existence. Throughout its run, Married with Children encountered its fair share of contentious episodes that sparked backlash among certain segments of the audience. One notable instance involved a highly influential viewer who took particular umbrage with the show's content. This individual, believing to represent a broader public sentiment, embarked on a campaign against the show, pressuring advertisers to withdraw their support. He leveraged his influence to threaten a boycott, leading to several major advertisers retracting their sponsorships from the show. However, this attempt to stifle the show unexpectedly backfired. The controversy surrounding these boycotts and the loss of advertisers inadvertently generated a significant amount of press coverage. This surge in media attention, rather than harming the show, actually played a pivotal role in attracting new viewers. The heightened interest and discussion around Married with Children contributed to an increase in its fan base. As a result of this newfound popularity, Fox Network experienced an unexpected but welcome turn of events. The channel began to attract even larger advertisers and secured more lucrative advertising deals than before. This reversal of fortune underscored the show's resilience and the public's appetite for its brand of humor, even amidst controversy. However, the show was not immune to the pitfalls that often accompany long-running television series. Despite its success and ability to navigate through controversies, Married with Children faced its share of challenges and missteps that are typical in the television industry. A modest chuckle. The spontaneous eruption of laughter from actors during a scene, commonly known as breaking character, is a familiar and often endearing occurrence. Given the humorous nature of these shows, it's only natural for actors, who are human after all, to find themselves laughing at the funny scenarios and witty writing they are a part of. This reaction, while unintended, reflects the authentic humor and enjoyment found in the script and the performances. Typically, when an actor breaks character by laughing, it disrupts the flow of the scene, leading the director to call cut and halt the filming. This interruption is necessary because the actor's laughter, while genuine and infectious, can take away from the narrative being portrayed. It's a momentary lapse that necessitates a retake to maintain the integrity and continuity of the scene. However, the occurrence of actors breaking character can have a positive side, especially in productions with a live audience. When actors laugh and break character in front of an audience, it often adds a layer of levity and joy to the shoot. This spontaneity can be particularly valuable on long shooting days when the cast and crew are feeling the strain of extended hours, or when the atmosphere on set needs a boost of energy and camaraderie. These moments of genuine laughter and lightheartedness can uplift everyone involved, creating a more enjoyable and relaxed environment. In the nuanced world of television production, there are instances where an actor's unplanned reaction, such as a smile or a laugh, doesn't necessarily ruin a scene, but instead adds a layer of authenticity or humor to it. Even with the most skilled editing, these genuine reactions can sometimes slip through, creating memorable and often relatable moments for the audience. This was exemplified in a notable episode of a popular sitcom. In You Better Watch Out, which is the 13th episode of Season 2 of the show, there's a particularly interesting scene where the characters' reactions play a key role. In this episode, a mall Santa unexpectedly lands in the backyard of the Bundy household. Naturally, this bizarre occurrence prompts a collective reaction from the family members. As they turn back to face the camera after witnessing Santa's unexpected arrival, a keen observer can spot a slight incongruity in the characters' reactions. Ed O'Neill, portraying the character Al Bundy, is seen smiling in this scene. This subtle break in character is intriguing because, within the context of the scene, Al Bundy is supposed to be quite angry about the events unfolding. The smile, therefore, stands out as an unintended yet genuine reaction from O'Neill. This moment is particularly interesting because it reveals a layer of the actor's perspective on the scene. Despite the character's supposed anger, the absurdity and humor of the situation couldn't help but elicit a smile from O'Neill. When later asked about this moment, Ed O'Neill admitted that he found the scene hilariously absurd. He explained that he was trying his best to maintain composure, aiming to limit his reaction to just a smile rather than breaking into full laughter. Inviting turmoil with an axe. The role of the props department in television production is often a challenging and underappreciated one, especially when it comes to handling weapons for scenes. In sitcoms, where the tone is generally light and the need for weapons is infrequent, the occasional inclusion of such props can lead to unexpectedly humorous situations. This was the case in Poppies by the Tree, the second episode of the second season of a popular sitcom, where the props department faced a unique challenge. In this episode, the character Al finds himself in a confrontation with a killer wielding an axe. The nature of this scene required a level of realism, yet safety considerations were paramount. To strike this balance, the production used a rubber axe instead of a real one. While a rubber axe is a common and sensible choice for safety, it can present certain challenges in terms of visual authenticity. The comical aspect of using a rubber axe became evident during a specific moment in the scene. When Al attempts to block the killer's swing with his briefcase, the inherent properties of the rubber axe come into play. Rubber, being flexible and non-rigid, behaves differently from a real axe when it makes contact with another object. In this instance, the rubber axe likely bent or wobbled upon impact with the briefcase, a stark contrast to how a real axe would react. This visual discrepancy, while perhaps not very noticeable on TV, highlights the fine line prop departments must walk. They have to ensure safety while also maintaining a degree of realism. In the fast-paced and often budget-conscious environment of sitcom production, such decisions are frequently made, balancing practicality with the demands of the script. The use of props, especially weapons, in sitcoms, can often lead to unintentionally comical moments, primarily when realism is compromised for safety or dramatic effect. This was vividly illustrated in the episode Poppies by the Tree, the second episode of the second season of a popular sitcom, where two instances involving weapon props created humorously implausible scenarios. The first instance occurs during a struggle between two characters over an axe. For safety reasons, a rubber axe was used instead of a real one. However, the properties of the rubber became comically apparent in the heat of the action. As the characters grapple for control of the axe, the handle of the rubber axe is visibly bending and flexing in ways that a real wooden and metal axe would not. This bending is an unmistakable giveaway of the prop's true nature. While the use of a rubber axe is a standard and necessary safety measure in television production, the visual effect in this case provided an unintended moment of humor, breaking the illusion of a tense struggle with a conspicuously bendable weapon. The second humorous weapon-related incident in the same episode involves a machete and a bed. Towards the end of the episode, a killer, hiding under the Bundy's bed, thrusts a huge machete through the mattress. This scene, intended to be suspenseful, ends up being amusing for its logistical improbability. Given the limited space under a typical bed, there would be insufficient room for someone to maneuver a large blade through a mattress without prior alteration to the bed or floor. This spatial inconsistency adds a layer of absurdity to the scene. Flight fares surpass. Pizza costs, bloopers in sitcom are not just limited to physical mishaps or line flubs. They often manifest as plot holes, which leave the audience puzzled about the internal logic of the show's universe. These plot holes are moments where the narrative continuity is disrupted, leading to questions about how or why certain events occur within the story. These inconsistencies can be particularly challenging for TV shows to avoid due to the complex nature of television production. One of the primary reasons plot holes occur is the multifaceted nature of a TV show's creation. A television series, especially a long-running one, involves numerous moving parts. This includes a large cast, a diverse crew, and often multiple writers contributing to various episodes. Each episode is a puzzle put together by different hands, and sometimes the pieces don't quite fit perfectly. The writers, while meticulously planning each storyline, might inadvertently overlook details or create conflicts with previously established facts, leading to gaps in the narrative. The situation is further complicated in multi-camera sitcoms, which are filmed in a manner akin to a stage play and often in front of a live studio audience. This format presents unique challenges and opportunities for dynamic changes. For instance, during the filming of a scene, an actor may deliver a line that, in the context of the scene, doesn't make sense or fails to elicit the expected laugh from the audience. In response to this, the show's writers might convene quickly, often right there on the set, to brainstorm and pitch alternative lines or jokes. This process, while vital for refining the humor and engagement of the show, can sometimes lead to inconsistencies in the storyline. In the TV show's 17th episode of Season 4, titled You Gotta Know When to Fold 'Em, there's an intriguing plot inconsistency. The episode revolves around Al, a character who finds himself financially constrained while attempting to purchase a pizza. This situation aligns with the earlier storyline where Peggy, his wife, had maxed out all of Al's credit cards, rendering them useless for further transactions. Consequently, when Al tries to use these maxed-out cards to buy the pizza, it's no surprise that he's unable to do so. However, the plot takes an unexpected turn that leads to a glaring inconsistency. Despite the previously established fact that Al's credit cards are maxed out and unusable, he somehow manages to purchase not one, but 3 airline tickets for a trip from Chicago to Las Vegas. This sudden and unexplained ability to use the supposedly maxed-out credit cards is a significant plot hole. It raises questions about the continuity and realism of the storyline. Effortless as Sweet's mistakes can occasionally slip through, capturing the attention of detail-oriented viewers. These small errors, while often not pivotal to the plot, can become noticeable distractions once spotted. An example of such a minor, yet conspicuous error occurs in episode 21 of season 7, titled Movie Show. In this episode, a particular scene is set at a snack bar in a movie theater. Initially, viewers are shown a theater employee placing sealed boxes of candy on the counter, presumably for the family to purchase and enjoy. This setup establishes an expectation about the interaction that is about to unfold. However, as the scene progresses and the family begins to eat, a discrepancy becomes evident. The previously sealed candy boxes, which were just placed on the counter, are now suddenly empty. This sudden change in the state of the candy boxes is an example of a continuity error. Continuity errors like this can arise from various factors during filming. For instance, the scene may have required multiple takes, and during these takes, the state of the props, in this case the candy boxes, might have been altered or reset inconsistently. Continuity is key to maintaining the illusion of a seamless, coherent narrative. However, even the most vigilant production teams can occasionally encounter slip-ups, as was the case in the Movie Show episode of a popular sitcom. Here, a minor but noticeable error occurred due to a discrepancy involving candy boxes at a snack bar. Initially, the scene presented the audience with an employee at the theater snack bar placing sealed boxes of candy on the counter in front of the Bundy family. This detail set a specific expectation for the scene. The boxes were new and unopened. However, as the scene transitioned, there was a noticeable change. The previously sealed candy boxes were suddenly empty. This error in continuity likely resulted from decisions or actions taken between filming the initial shot and subsequent takes. There are a couple of plausible explanations for this discrepancy. One possibility is that the props department might have inadvertently swapped out the original sealed boxes with empty ones during the resetting of the scene for additional takes. In the often hectic environment of a sitcom set, especially one filmed in front of a live audience, maintaining exact prop continuity can sometimes be challenging. The pressure to keep the shooting schedule moving along might lead to small details being overlooked. Another possibility is that a deliberate decision was made to change the state of the candy boxes to add realism to the scene. Perhaps the production team thought it would appear more natural for the boxes to be open as if the family had already started eating. However, this change would have overlooked the fact that the boxes were initially established as sealed in the first shot, leading to a noticeable inconsistency. Some excel beyond the rest. In the production of television shows, particularly sitcoms, bloopers, and mistakes are a common occurrence, albeit usually scattered across various episodes. However, there are instances where a single episode might contain multiple errors, leading one to ponder about the possible circumstances during its production. Was the cast and crew under more pressure that week? Were they perhaps fatigued? These factors can significantly influence the frequency of mistakes in an episode. One such episode that exemplifies this concentration of errors is the 22nd episode from Season 5, titled You Better Shop Around. In this episode, a notable plot hole emerges, involving a scene at a supermarket. The plot hole occurs when a supermarket manager instructs a photographer to take a photograph of Al's shopping cart. This directive in itself might seem straightforward, but it leads to questions about the underlying logic and motivation behind the action, which is not clearly addressed in the episode. Plot holes like this often arise when there is a disconnect between the actions of the characters and the established logic of the show's universe. They can be the result of several factors in the production process. For instance, in the rush to meet tight filming schedules, script details that might seem minor at first glance could be overlooked. Alternatively, last-minute script changes, which are quite common in sitcoms, especially those filmed in front of a live audience, can result in inconsistencies. In such cases, writers and directors might be more focused on the immediate humor or impact of a scene, rather than its coherence within the broader storyline. The episode You Better Shop Around from Season 5 illustrates how even small technicalities can lead to noticeable inconsistencies in a TV show, reflecting the challenges of aligning the realities of filming with the narrative being portrayed. One such technical issue arises during a scene where a photographer is instructed to take a photo of Al's shopping cart. At the moment the camera's flash goes off, Al is positioned in such a way that his entire right shoulder would realistically obstruct a significant portion of the photograph. This positioning creates a discrepancy between what is portrayed, the act of taking a photo, and what would realistically occur given the character's placement. While this isn't a major issue and viewers can easily overlook it, suspending their disbelief, it does highlight the small inconsistencies that can occur in visual storytelling. More prominently, another scene in the same episode features a moment that challenges the suspension of disbelief further. This scene involves Al knocking Jefferson out of the way. In television and film, stunt performers are often employed to execute physical actions that might be too risky or demanding for the main actors. The goal of using stunt performers is to seamlessly integrate their work into the scene, so that viewers believe it is the actual actor performing the action. However, in this particular scene, the use of the stunt performer is glaringly apparent to the audience. This obviousness in the stunt work disrupts the illusion typically maintained in film and television that the actors themselves are engaged in these physical feats. The clarity of the stunt performer's involvement in this scene could be due to a variety of factors. It could stem from the angle at which the scene was shot, the lighting, the physical differences between the actor and the stunt performer, or the manner in which the action was executed. Such moments can momentarily pull viewers out of the narrative as they become aware of the artifice behind the production. Achieving a balance between practical filming constraints and the need for realistic portrayal can be quite challenging. This balance is notably tested in scenes requiring physical stunts or the depiction of malfunctioning props, as seen in the episode You Better Shop Around. One such instance involves a stunt scene where the audience can visibly see the stuntman jumping up and into a wire rigging. Wire rigging is a common technique used in film and television to safely execute stunts that involve flying or falling. However, the goal is usually to keep these mechanisms hidden from the audience to maintain the illusion of reality. In this case, the visibility of the wire rigging suggests a lapse in either the camera work or the execution of the stunt, making it apparent that a stunt performer is being used. This could be due to limitations in the set design, lighting, or camera angles that made it difficult to conceal the rigging effectively. The scene perhaps required a different approach or more careful planning to achieve a more seamless and realistic portrayal. Another issue in the same episode involves the portrayal of a wobbly shopping cart. Initially, the supermarket manager gives Jefferson a cart that is described as wobbly, setting up an expectation for comedic moments based on this malfunction. However, as the episode progresses, this characteristic of the cart seems to be forgotten or ignored as it appears to function normally without any signs of instability. This inconsistency might be an oversight in the continuity of the prop's portrayal or a deliberate decision to prioritize other comedic elements over the continuity of the cart's condition. Moreover, in the initial scenes where the cart is supposed to be wobbly, the actor's performance further highlights the issue. The actor is seen artificially inducing the shaking movements of the cart with his hands, suggesting that the cart is, in reality, perfectly functional. This portrayal undermines the intended comedic effect of a malfunctioning cart and draws attention to the artificiality of the situation. Ensemble and production team of Married with Children. These individuals, including the lighting crew, camera operators, set movers, and sound technicians, play critical roles in bringing each episode to life. However, despite meticulous planning and coordination, there are occasions when the presence of these behind-the-scenes players inadvertently intrudes into the final on-screen product. This can manifest as unintended shadows or glimpses of equipment, providing viewers with a rare peek into the bustling world of TV production. One such instance occurs in the episode A Man's Castle, the 15th episode of Season 5. During a scene where Peggy makes an entrance into the kitchen, the shadow of someone else's head becomes visible. Given the context of the plot and the positioning of the characters, it's clear that this shadow doesn't belong to any of the actors. Instead, it likely belongs to a member of the crew who was behind the camera. This unintentional inclusion highlights the bustling activity that takes place just outside the camera's frame. Another subtle yet revealing moment happens in Who'll Stop the Rain, the 13th episode of Season 4. In a scene where Al discusses fixing the TV antenna, a shadow moves across a blue bucket on the Bundys' table. This fleeting shadow suggests that someone behind the camera, perhaps a crew member adjusting equipment or moving around the set, inadvertently cast their shadow into the shot. Furthermore, in the second episode of Season 9, Driving Mr. Bundy, there's a moment where Al gets up to answer the phone, and the boom microphone briefly comes into view above his head. Boom microphones are crucial for capturing dialogue, but they're typically kept out of the camera's frame. Their accidental appearance in a shot is a classic example of a minor production slip-up. What do you think about the mistakes during the filming of Married with Children? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.